Hello guys, it's Andy, also known as Fraser Flips, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new around here and you've not subscribed already, please do so, as 87% of people watching this have not subscribed. So, if you can already tell by the title, this video is about some customer service that I've had on Vinted recently. Obviously, I sell on eBay, Vinted, Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, you name it, I'm selling on it. But I feel I've had to make this video, as firstly I've made one about eBay when they had poor customer service and they didn't deal with things, so it's only fair that I do the same to Vinted. I just want to also clarify that this has now been cleared up. I have been refunded, and I'll explain everything what's happened with Vinted, but the customer service that I'm about to show you, it took over 90 days to actually sort out. It's caused loads of stress, loads of messages, and it's really been a ball ache really. But yeah, I just wanted to go over a few things that Vinted have done. The customer service really needs updating and improving, and yeah, we'll get on with this video. So I just want to start with how the situation actually came around and actually started. So I was selling a few little gaming bits on Facebook, and someone actually messaged me from afar saying, can you do postage? I don't usually sell and post through Facebook because I don't really trust PayPal, and I've heard stories where people have been able to retract payments through PayPal. So I said, I tell you what, I'll sell it through Vinted just so I have a leg to stand on, or so I thought. So I sold 60 games for £60 on Vinted. They paid all the fees, paid the shipping. They're a brand new Vinted account, obviously they had to create an account, and I sent the item. So yeah, I got the item shipped out that day. Everything was going smoothly. Tracking all updated fine, and yeah, the item was on the way. I checked Vinted a few days later to see what was happening, and I heard nothing from the buyer, nothing on the tracking, and I just looked and all it said was en route to buyer. Every other day I'd check and I'd still see that the item was en route to the buyer, and it had been about 16 days since the actual item was sent to the buyer. So I messaged a guy on Facebook and he'd actually left the chat. So already this is like getting a bit fishy, like has the item actually turned up at his place and he just unfriended me or messaged me so I can't contact him again. So yeah, I was a bit like puzzled at first, and then it dawned on me, oh wait, I could have been scammed here. But how? Because I sent it through Vinted. So yeah, it had been about 3 weeks at this point, and it still said en route to buyer through Vinted. I contacted Vinted, and this is the first time I asked them to step in, and they said as the tracking still says the item is on the way, there's nothing they could do. Which, okay, fair enough, it might have been out their hands at now, but at the same time I'm £60 out of pocket, and they can't do anything at all. So what Vinted suggested was just to keep an eye on the tracking, and yeah, there's just nothing they can do. So that's what I did. I waited, and at this point it had been about 6 weeks now, so I contacted Vinted, and they said the tracking still says it's en route to buyer, that maybe try tracking through Yodel, is that who it was actually sent by, and then try get back to us. Yeah, so it really wasn't helpful. So I went on Yodel tracking, tried to track it. Of course, tracking doesn't exist, it's only through Vinted, the little code. So I went back to Vinted, and the next day, out of the blue, suddenly your parcel is being returned to you. So at this point I'm like, fair enough, the item's getting returned. It's literally been like a month and a half, so I'm like, I just want the item back and I can at least resell it and do something with it. But yeah, this is where it gets really fun. So I'm just putting up a screenshot right here, and as you can see, the item was sold on the 26th of July. So it had been about a month, and then suddenly it said the item was returned to me. So it said returning the item to sender, and then 3 days later it said item has been returned. The item was not returned to me at all. So I contacted Vinted, right? And yeah, this is where I said, right, Vinted, it's been 5-6 weeks now. It says the parcel's been like returned to me, as like it hasn't. And then I looked at the tracker, and it still said on like the details, it said en route to sender. So clearly the item's not arrived, and they marked it down as, right, if you can claim for lost parcels, but you have to wait another 25 days before you can make a claim. So I said to Vinted, right, I waited the 25 days, contacted Vinted again. I think this is like mid-September now. So I think it's September the 20th, so literally 2 months after I'd sold the item. Messaged Vinted and said, look, the item's still not arrived. It's been the 25 days I've waited after the parcel went missing. And they said, right, we've refunded you 60 quid. So to put it this way, the item sold for 60 quid, a month to get to the person. It didn't arrive at the person, it returned to me, and it never arrived to me. So basically this parcel just went walkabouts. Vinted were unhelpful the whole way through, and in that process I've been refunded and the buyer's been refunded. So it's a good outcome for both of us. If their parcel did generally get lost, they've been refunded. But if it had arrived to them and the tracking didn't update and they got refunded, well, good for them, you know what I mean? And then for me, it's a lot of inconvenience for me because they had things like having to wait 25 days to report the parcel lost. And then they also said you get a compensation up to 500 quid. Literally didn't get any compensation. I mentioned the fact that I've had to contact Vinted 7 times. There's no person to chat to. It's just an automated, we'll get back to you in 48 hours. And the amount of times that I'd send a message, it says within 48 hours you'll get a message or chat back. This didn't happen. It's more like 3-4 days, so you really need to sort this stuff out. So as much as there are a few frustrating things about Vinted, like the poor customer service or the automated service, there are actually a few things that have slowly started improving since I have actually been using them. Also, what I do like about Vinted is the review system. So even if, like on eBay, I've sold 2,800 things this year and I've got about 890 reviews. So that's a third of people actually bother to either leave feedback. And out of those, a lot of the people just want to leave negative feedback. Like, it takes a lot for someone to leave positive feedback. But the thing I like about Vinted is even if the person doesn't leave you feedback, it leaves automated 5-star feedback. So if you do get a bad review on Vinted, you know it's because someone's actually went out of their way to write it. Where I like how they do automated reviews and stuff. I think that's something that eBay could incorporate because it really does help a buyer understand that this person is trustworthy. The more feedback you have, the more of a rapport you can build with potential future customers. I will keep using Vinted to this day. I really do like the system. I just wish the customer service was a bit better. Also, before I end this video, there's just a few things that I want to get off the chest and just tell you what's happening in the byproduct. So as you can see here, this is a thumbnail for the video that you have just clicked on. And yeah, this is all done by a new designer that I have. His email address will be in the description. If you want to get any work for him, yeah, reasonable pricing and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely give him a click. He's done quite a few for me and he's actually got a couple lined up for me. So yeah, really cool thumbnails, quite catchy and cheap. The second thing is I actually have a few videos filmed and edited and lined up. So yeah, every 3 or 4 days I'll have a video coming up. The end of CARBOOT season is happening, so there will be a lot more tutorials and things to do on eBay and how to improve. And yeah, there'll be a lot of Facebook Marketplace pickups and also sales videos. So sales have been increasing now, so summer is over and Q4 is starting very, very soon. I've got loads of stock and yeah, hopefully we can get some sales throughout the winter periods and make some more money. Yes, also I just want to say thank you to a couple of subscribers that bought stuff from my eBay store. Yeah, I'll try and leave some screenshots here. If not, I'll leave a thing in the description. But yeah, thank you for helping me out on my eBay store. And then the last thing is I've got my girlfriend to start reselling. So if you want to see a YouTube on her or a reselling like series, just let me know what kind of ideas you guys have in the comments. And yeah, we'll try and work something out. But yep, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.